I'm a professional long course triathlete. I just love the opportunity to see how far my body can go. We're swimming 2.4 miles, we're riding 112 miles, and then we're running a marathon after that. I was down with my training partner. We were out on a ride. I'm looking over my shoulder trying to yell something at him. I looked back and there's a big pile in front of me, and I just jackknifed the front of the bike and flipped straight over. I had a helmet on, but I landed right on the top of my head. Apparently I had a post-concussive convulsion, which looks very much like a seizure. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and as soon as they gave me my phone back, the first thing I did was I literally Googled best neurologist for professional athletes concussion. And the first thing that came up, and I think the first 5 things that came up, was Dr. Tina Shetty and HSS. I called her immediately and got her on the phone right away, which I thought was amazing. And I believe I was in her office within 24 hours. She had a handle on what I was going through, and she was going to help me come out of it better. Pretty early on, she connected me with a man that she works with named Pablo, who really works with this return to sport protocol.
So we came up with a really specific program. We wanted to make sure that he was asymptomatic with all 3 sports.
And he was just wonderful. And we worked together for probably about 8 or 9 weeks. By week 4 or 5, I felt amazing. And by 9 weeks, I actually felt stronger coming out of this return to sport protocol than I did before the concussion.
So the unique challenges with concussion is that they're invisible. You can't see the injury like you can see in an MRI or a biomarker.
Actually got back and did my first race at the end of June, and no neurological side effects, but clearly my fitness wasn't there. And what was much more clear is I had some serious issues that carried over from the accident. So as I started to up my mileage and up my training, I just got some really intense pain in that right hip socket, out on the side of the hip. As I started to look into who's the best when it comes to hips, once again, it was just doctor after doctor at HSS. I ended up in Dr. Weiss's office, and that was really, it's been a game changer for me.
A lot of time was spent discussing what activities and types of training he needed to scale back on and how he could gradually return to that training level.
What we found is that I had a labral tear, I had a deformity in my femoral head, and there was just a bunch of stuff in there that shouldn't have been there.
And that's when a discussion of platelet-rich plasma injections to try to facilitate recovery and rehabilitation of a hip injury came up.
His personability, just how friendly he was and how he genuinely makes me feel well cared for. He felt like a family physician or somebody that I grew up with, like a pediatrician or something. That September, I ended up racing an Ironman, but so went from really crutches to Ironman in about 12 or 13 weeks. I've since gone to Dr. Weiss whenever I have a problem with my body. Having a really serious injury like this made me really appreciate waking up in the morning and saying, I feel good. To be able to have this resource in one place and see what I think to be the best neurologist out there, to be able to see the physiatrist that can literally do everything, and to be able to know that if my hip injury ever worsens, I know where I'm going for surgery also, it's incredible.